In the Marine Corps, we had a saying, tactics win battles, strategy wins wars. Your PMP made you a tactical expert. You can execute projects. You know the processes. You can follow the framework. But the risk management professional certification, that's your strategic upgrade. That's what makes you the person they call when failure isn't an option. Today, I'm going to show you why the RMP isn't just your next certification. It's the certification that will completely change your trajectory of your project management career. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room. There are 1.3 million PMPs worldwide. I talked about this in my video when I talked about PMI's new above the PMP certification that they want to come out, the Advanced Project Manager Certification 2027. But I want you to think about that number of 1.3 million PMPs. You worked hard for your certification, no doubt behind that, and you should be proud of it. I know I am. Getting the PMP was a phenomenal milestone in my career, and it brought me to where I am now, where I love teaching it, and I love teaching about risk management. But the reality behind the PMP right now is you're not rare anymore in the field. You're qualified. When I got the PMP, it opened doors for me, but not in the way you'd think. It took my 20 years of military planning that I had behind me, and it validated it. It gave me the minimum requirements I needed to get the job and the roles that I was already qualified for. So the PMP is the standard now. It's the baseline of what project managers with the experience are expected to get. They're expected to earn the certification. The market doesn't need more people who can follow a process. It needs people who can protect the outcome, protect the value that the organization is trying to get with the project. And that's where everything changes when it comes to risk management. So going back to the military and combat operations, we didn't just plan missions. We red teamed them. We actively tried to break our own plans before the enemy could. That's what the RMP teaches. Offensive risk management, not just a defensive checklist that you have to go through. It's about being proactive over reactive with your risk management, because projects don't fail when people can't plan. They fail because people can't predict, prevent, and pivot when threats and opportunities pop up throughout their project. So let's go back to you and your company, your last failed project that you guys had. I bet it wasn't a Gantt chart failure. That probably wasn't the problem. It was probably missing some risk that was out there that you probably could have found along the way if you had just done some deep analysis and thinking. And now, with the integration of AI, remote teams, supply chain volatility, regulatory changes coming faster than ever, and cyber threats pretty much out there on every project, every organization needs to be worried. The complexity around what can actually hurt our projects is not slowing down. It's only going to accelerate. And if you need more proof on risk management and why it's more than just a nice to have and it's more mission critical, look at what PMI just did in the PMBOK 8th edition. They didn't just update the risk chapter, they elevated risk to one of the performance domains on project management. Think about that shift. In the 6th edition of the PMBOK, risk was one of the knowledge areas. In the 7th edition, it was just called uncertainty. And now in the 8th edition, risk is a core performance domain. PMI is telling you that risk isn't a specialty anymore. It's foundational to effective project management. So here's my question to you. If PMI just elevated risk to core domain status in their standard, why wouldn't you get that certification that proves that you're an expert in that domain? The market is telling you what it values. Are you listening? And if you are listening, but not understanding the message, here's the difference. PMP gives you one chapter on risk, maybe a few questions out of the 180 on the exam. The RMP gives you an entire methodology from initiation to closure. So the PMP teaches you to identify and respond to risks, whereas the RMP is going to teach you to identify, analyze qualitatively, quantitatively, plan risk responses, implement the risk responses, and monitor continuously. You go from having a risk register to having a risk-adjusted project strategies that you can use to actually make decisions upon. And here's a critical difference. PMP is going to teach you how to list your risks. The RMP is going to teach you how to actually develop a prioritized list of them. So to show you what I mean, you have a list of 47 risks in your project register. PMP says document them all. Do some probability impact, which is a great start. But now what? You've got a limited budget, limited time, limited team's attention overall. Which of those 47 risks, if they occur, actually threaten your project's objectives? Are you looking past just probability and impact? If something's low probability, but it's catastrophic to your project if it hits, or if you have a risk that's a lower probability than this one over here, but it can happen next week, vice the other one that can happen 3 months from now, you need to understand what you can accept, which ones are actually going to cost you the most money to take care of, and which ones will, in the long run, hurt your project the most. That's where you get into that qualitative, quantitative risk analysis, because you're not just managing risks. You're making executive level decisions about your organization's risk tolerance. You're saying, we'll monitor these 12, we'll accept these 8, and we'll transfer these 3. That's the RMP mindset. That's what makes you strategic to a project. And here's a real mindset shift, one that I want you to understand. PMP project managers, they ask what could go wrong. RMP professionals are asking, what are we betting on? Is it worth taking a bet on? Let me give you an example. Weather risk on a construction project. The PMP approach adds some buffer days. You're looking at your schedule, we'll add some days in there, and we'll cover it. The RMP approach says, can we leverage off-season pricing for a 15% cost savings and schedule the risk window strategically? You're not just managing the risk, you're turning it into a competitive advantage for your team. So let's get practical on your next move. What do you actually got to do to earn the RMP? So for the prerequisites, it's based on your level of education, just like the PMP. And you're looking at a span of over 5 years when it comes to your experience. So you need 36 months of specialized risk experience for a high school degree, 24 months of specialized risk experience for a 4-year degree, and 12 months of specialized risk experience for a bachelor's or postgraduate GAC accredited program. I've said this before, if you don't know what a GAC accredited program is, you most likely didn't have it. But here's the thing. If you've been a project manager, you probably have risk management experience. You just need to make sure you're documenting it the right way. And you need 30 to 40 hours of contact hours based on your educational level. I have a 30-hour RMP exam prep course that gets you what you need to pass the exam. Your PMP may have taken you 3 to 6 months to get. The RMP with focused study time, you're looking at 8 to 12 weeks. And the exam is 115 questions, not 180. But those 115 questions are specialized. They're not scattered across all the different elements of project management. They're risk focused. But here's something that PMI did recently in late 2025. PMI standardized the RMP certification. They added the RMP to the authorized training partner programs, developing standardized instructor materials, professionalizing the entire ecosystem. So what does that mean for you? It means that you have the opportunity to get the information from the people developing the exam. No more taking a course off a different platform and hoping it covers all the material that you need. And my course is aligned to PMI, taught using their material, supplemented by my own. Here's what I want you to understand about timing when it comes to the RMP too. Right now, today, you could be among the first RMP certified professional in your company, probably in your city, maybe even your entire industry. In 5 years, more people are going to earn it. But right now, you can join the elite team of RMPs worldwide. And to get started, you just got to go down below in the description, or you can look in my comments, because I'm going to pin it right to the top, my RMP exam prep course schedule. Or you can always join my free 44 Risk PM community and join some of the discussions on preparing for this exam as well. The PMP proved that you can manage a project. The RMP proves you can save one. Which professional do you think will get the call when the stakes are the highest? If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell for future updates. I'm dropping more content on RMP certifications, risk management strategies, and career advancements for project managers. And drop a comment below. Are you considering the RMP? What's your biggest question about it? Links to everything I mentioned are in the description below. Let's get you from a good project manager to being a strategic project leader. I'm Russ Parker, the Bearded PM. Out.